What's up, Mr. Kasten? How you doing?
I'm good, Jake. Good to be here with you. Nice to see you.
It's great to see you. The last time we saw was in 2021. I was a lot younger, so obviously I look older, but Mr. Kasten, you don't look a day older. You look exactly the same.
Okay, fine. If you say so.
Anyways, I wanted to thank you for everything you've done for me. First of all, staying in touch with me and being so nice to me. The
I
epic.
mean, I couldn't help it. You don't leave me alone, right? You keep bombarding me with stuff. So there's no way to avoid it.
It's true. It's true. And the epic trip you brought me to Dodger Stadium to meet the team, that was something I'll never ever forget. Just our whole relationship is something I definitely don't take for granted at all.
Great. Same here. Yep.
Thank you. And by the way, I gotta say, I'm a Blue Jays fan, so you know that. And you made me a legit Dodgers fan too, though. So I guess you also have a successful career in fan acquisition.
Well, you should be a Blue Jays fan. I think they do a terrific job. I know not everyone in the media or everyone in the fan base agrees, but this is hard, man. Competing with good teams is hard, and they're always there every year in the offseason working hard and during the season. So I think Toronto fans are very lucky to have their Jays there, and I hope they fill up Rogers ballpark every night.
Yeah, we're very lucky here in Toronto to have the Jays. They're an amazing organization. Anyway, so let's talk about your Dodgers. Specifically, let's start off with Shohei Ohtani. Last offseason, you guys signed him to a monster deal, and boy, did he deliver.
A pretty cheap deal, as it turns out. It was a pretty cheap deal.
Seriously, for a
Yeah,
guy who's hitting 310, 54 homers and 130 RBIs
yeah,
with pretty much 60 stolen bases, and
yeah,
that's without him pitching. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
yeah. It was really cheap. It was really cheap. Yeah, we got a bargain there.
So what have you learned about Shohei ever since he joined the Dodgers?
Well, one thing we didn't know about him was what a good guy he is. And at the early start, we had this intermediary, his longtime interpreter, and all of those issues that kind of melted away in our first spring training. And once he got past having that relationship around him all the time, and he could open up and just be himself with us, we have learned what a terrific guy he is, how good his English is, what a great sense of humor he has, what a great teammate he has, how good he is in the community. All of those things, would have just been icing on the cake compared to what he does on the field. But it's just so great to see a guy who is as great as he is on the field also have all of those attributes, be a real team guy, a community guy, an organization guy. That's very, very rare. And we're very lucky to have him.
It's really special to hear about what an amazing person he is. I guess
Yeah.
the Dodgers have a knack for that because it seems like every person that goes there is an amazing guy.
Well, we work hard at it, but I also think our environment makes it easier for players. We live in a great city. We have the world's most beautiful ballpark. We have this great heritage and legacy that everyone can look up in the stands and take pride in, and a fan base that supports us night in, night out with 50,000 people. So it's easy, I think, to come to work here, and that helps provide a little extra motivation to our players to be the best that they can be. And we're proud of what we've created. We definitely are.
Right. And you mentioned how you got to see Shohei, how amazing he is on the field, but you've only gotten to see him one way when he's been hitting. And he's returning to the starting rotation soon per manager Roberts that he might return in May. How excited are you to see him in the rotation?
Yeah, when we last saw him doing both, he was maybe the best hitter in baseball, and at the same time, maybe the best pitcher in baseball. That's impossible, right? So that's who he is. He is, someone who holds holds up the possibility of us having this once in a century type player that will be exciting for not just Dodger fans, it'll be exciting for everyone in baseball and increasingly every baseball fan around the world, which we're also very proud of. So yeah, we're proud to call him a Dodger, but again, he is a blessing for all of baseball everywhere.
For sure. I was thinking about the same thing about how insane would it be? Can you imagine if he wins MVP and Cy Young in the same season? I wouldn't put it
Well,
past him.
we've had someone do that. We had Clayton Kershaw do that. So
Yes.
it does happen. It does happen, but it's very rare. And Clayton won the MVP just on his pitching. I don't know anyone that's done it because they do both, but we'll see.
Be crazy. So now that he's gonna be pitching this year though, do you think Shohei's gonna be as aggressive on the base path this year, or do you think
God, I hope not. I didn't like it last year. He just said, "I'm not pitching. I might as well do something else." Um, it's hard being a base runner, all right, especially when you have a big body like that. But he was so good at it because he's good at everything. His strides are so long, so he has a natural ability to steal bases. But there's risk, and we need him a lot more in the batter's box and on the mound than we do stealing an extra base. I mean, now I know he's going to steal bases. I know he's going to. Do we need him taking as many chances as he did last year? My personal opinion is no, but he's really smart about the game and he's smart about using his tools. I think, and yes, I hope he does it fewer times than he did last year, but whatever he does, I know he'll make the right decisions. We will help him make those decisions.
for sure, for sure. Anyway, you were talking about the bargain you guys got, and this past offseason, the Juan Soto sweepstakes, they
Yeah.
took front, they took front stage. And once again, we saw another star player receive a record-breaking deal. And now my Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is also looking for a long-term deal. I want your opinion on Vladdy as a player and a person, because I just wish my Jays would already lock him up.
Um, I don't know him. I just know what he's done on the field, and I know he's a terrific player. Came up in that organization, loves the Blue Jays. Um, so yeah, he would be a great asset for them to retain. I feel this way about every player on every team. I hope the team that he is with now can keep him. I read comments recently where the organization believes they will be able to keep. I hope so. I think that'd be a good result for Vladdy, for the Blue Jays, and for all of baseball. If Vladdy got to stay in Toronto, that would be a really good thing. So that's what I'm pulling for.
Right. And I wanna bridge this for a second where there's a player that a former Blue Jay and a Dodger now, my guy, Teoscar Hernandez. I remember when I messaged you after he signed with the team last season. I told you you got a real gem, and obviously you know how amazing of a person he is. And he also had a heck of a season on the field as well. 33 homers, 99 RBIs, brings so much to the clubhouse with passion and energy. I was so excited to see him re-sign. Was I right about Teo? I was right about Teo.
Yeah, Teo's been just phenomenal for us out in the field, at the plate, in the dugout, and in the clubhouse. He is full of energy, full of enthusiasm, full of a positive take on everything. He loves appearing on Jake's Takes whenever he can. He just told me that again yesterday when I told him I was doing this show. So he's a big fan of yours, but we are all big fans of his. I would say when this season ended, that was the number one player that our fans wanted us to resign. Kike was right up there also, but they really wanted Teo because of the great year he had and what a contribution he made to our winning a World Series.
Another guy I love and who was on my show is two-time World Series champion, manager Dave Roberts. And he also just signed an extension, 4-year contract extension. He's entering his 10th season with the Dodgers, and he has the highest winning percentage in Major League history. And I remember when he was on my show, I got to taste what an amazing guy he is. He tells it like it is, great leader. Just what do you feel makes manager Roberts such an effective manager?
I think the most misunderstood part of that job is managing 26 unique individuals, each with their own skills, but also with their own personalities. You need to get the most out of them, and that requires reaching out in different ways for different players. He's really good about that. He is really good about involving the analytics staff in helping all of us make the best decisions during the game, and then of course away from the field with our community, with our fans. There's no one as good as Dave at that. So Dave fills the bill here, and he's during his time here, led us into 4 World Series. And we paid him all that money because we think he's going to continue to lead us to more World Series. At least that's what we're certainly hoping.
For sure, for sure. He's incredible when it comes to player personnel.
Yeah.
And when it comes to player personnel, actually, do you ever get involved? Like, for example, the starting rotation this year is absolutely stacked. Snell, Yamamoto, Sasaki, Glass now, May, Shohei coming back. Like, how do you decide the order of this rotation? Do you have any input?
But Gonsolin, Kershaw, Knack, we have guys. We have guys. Um, uh, Dave and his staff, along with Andrew Friedman and that staff, are together every day, all day, working through these things. We do a lot about analyzing what our opponents are doing and what our strengths are in putting us in the best position to win that night's game. So there's no one formula to how we decide that. We 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 do all the analysis we can. We make decisions one decision at a time. And I will say this: whatever the decision, you named 5 great starters for our rotation, and that's great. And that's what we're starting the year with. I'm pretty sure it won't be our rotation come October because things happen, right? Players have injuries, young players emerge. You never know what's going to happen. But we're flexible and we're ready for, the inevitable hurdles and challenges that we will have. And we think by the time we get to October, we will still have a pretty good rotation. It just may not be the same one you see starting tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, you guys are super deep. There's tons of stars, tons of personalities on this Dodgers team. And, there's no shortage of leaders and characters also. But in your opinion, who do you think the most like popular guy in the clubhouse is? The one guy everyone wants to be around, looks up to.
Well, the guy who got the most attention this offseason was Landon Knack. I'll tell you why. He lived in town, and whenever we wanted to show off our trophy around town, Landon was always volunteering. I'll go to the football game. I'll go to the basketball game. I'll go to this hospital. So he's always seen around town with the trophy. So that's how most people know him now. But we have so many popular guys, and I guess they're different ones in different parts of town. There's obviously parts of town that Shohei is transcendent in. There are parts of town that Freddie Freeman is the star, that Mookie Betts is the star. Our longtime fans, worship Clayton Kershaw as they should. So, but anyone on our team who goes out there in the community does a good job. Will Smith, Max Muncy, Chris Taylor, Tommy Edman, Austin Barnes, on and on and on. We're very proud of all of our guys, and anyone I left out, it was an accident because I would send any of them anywhere in the community, and they will do a wonderful job.
For sure. That's so funny. Landon Knack. I guess he has a knack for doing that.
I guess so. I was going to let you have that. Okay.
Did you watch the NHL's Four Nations face off this year?
I was busy. I focus mostly on the PWHL, which you haven't talked about yet in this show. I haven't watched it, but I know what a huge success it was. It's a model that the NHL is going to keep looking at. And in the PWHL, we're going to look at it too for future all-star type events. Next year is kind of a challenge because it's an Olympic year. And so we'll have to take a break for that. And that's going to eat into our schedule. But yes, I love what happens in the hockey world. As you probably know, Gary Bettman's a very, very old friend of mine. He has been tremendously helpful with us as we put the PWHL together. As we are taping this right now, Toronto has just had a big win in Boston tonight. So congratulations to the Scepters. We're very close to our friends at the NHL, and we watch everything they do.
Yeah, for sure. They should for sure do that PWHL. Also, the MLB should do something similar as well. Any ideas?
Well, we have the WBC,
Right.
and that comes every 4 years. And next year is the WBC year. So last time Japan won the best WBC ever with Shohei Ohtani striking out Mike Trout for the last out. That's something we'll never forget. It'll be hard to replicate, but we have the possibility of doing that because more and more baseball is being played in more countries. We're getting the recognition in more countries. Japan now has a presence around the world in baseball that people didn't know about quite as much, before Otani and Yamamoto and Sasaki, and Imanaga and Seiya Suzuki and all the other guys who are playing over here already. So I don't know if a four nation thing is the right mix. We really like the WBC, and let's stay tuned because there's a lot of talk about having baseball in the Olympics in LA in 28. That decision hasn't been made, but we're optimistic and hopeful because if it does happen, I'm expecting to see those games at Dodger Stadium.
Wow, that'd be incredible. That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
So I wanna understand for a second the business side of baseball. Like every year, so many players they switch teams. They're on the Dodgers and they're off the Dodgers. They're off the Dodgers and they're on the Dodgers. Do you personally stay in touch, stay close with former Dodgers, guys like Trey Turner, Justin Turner, like all these type of guys, or are you only close with them as they're Dodgers?
I have been in touch with Justin Turner since he left here. Trey, I would see like when they come into town. Um, Bryce Harper started out with me in Washington. I see him when he comes through town. 2 days ago, I was in a text exchange with Zach Greinke. It's one of my favorite all-time Dodgers because he's so unique as a person. So sure, there are lots of players that I'm in touch with, but I have that in all sports. I'm in touch with Doc Rivers. Okay, I'm in touch with some of my former hockey players, and someone Ray Ferraro just sent regards to me just like a couple of weeks ago. He played for me in Atlanta. So
Wow.
yeah, I try to stay in touch with them as much as I can, but we're all busy. It'll happen like at events, and we'll run into each other. That's the more common way for us to see each
Right.
other.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh my, Mr. Kasten, I want to thank you so much for taking your time, joining me on my show again. Always a huge honor to talk with you, learn from you. Do you enjoy your time with me again?
Well, Jake, you take care. It's always good talking to you. How did you do on your test yesterday, by the
Oh,
way?
I did great. I did great.
Okay, okay, great.
I
That
think,
was the most important thing. I wanted to
yes.
remember to ask you that.
Thank you. I was nervous for it.
Okay. All right, Jake. Well, great talking to you. Good luck. Have a good season. Maybe we'll see each other in October. You never know.
Amazing.